Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm your host, Jordan James, also known as the Autistic Photographer, and I'm joined by my co-host and very best friend, Simon Scott.
Hello. Yes, we're talking about Autistic Minds Live and Energy Hangovers. Hello again, even though I only saw you a couple of days ago. We spent all weekend together. We're in separate rooms again. Hello.
I'm just rocking out to our own entrance music, man. I'm just like, yeah.
I know. Can you imagine if we played it at the live? It would have been like stone cold with the glass shattering.
Oh, yeah, it would have been sick. I'd have ended up just doing some sort of crazy, like jumping into the crowd, probably crushing some poor innocent person just randomly at the front, just like, ah!
Little crowd surfing at the autistic event, that would have been.
Yeah, I was like, is this not the place for that? I'd be like, yeah, I'm socially awkward. And I'm like, well, also I'm dangerous because I just jump on people randomly.
I just have the image of you flying through the air and everyone just moving out the way.
Yeah, just flump. Yeah,
oh, man.
Big old crash.
Yeah, well, Yeah, go.
I was going to say it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was good. I didn't. There was a lot of me that didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't want to do that, but I was like, yeah, let's do it, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I was out of spoons after about 10 minutes.
You were,
and then I was just running on empty. And yeah, I kind of compare it to the Michael Jordan flu game, where every time he had to go in, he just performed, and then as soon as he sat on the bench, he was literally dead. And I do remember at one point I did crawl under our table.
Yeah,
I went and hid.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to allowing myself to be exhausted and tired and not do things that I probably shouldn't do, but we're getting there. But if you are listening to this and you were at the Autistic Minds live event, thank you so much for coming to our live show or coming up to the stall and meeting us. And if this is your first time listening to the Neurodivergent Experience after finding us at that event, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, I'll give a little shout out as well. We had some people that came up to meet us who have been listening to us since basically day one or have picked up and listened to every episode. And, you know, we met Nikki and Scarlett, which was really cool to meet those guys. And then I met Angela from the Autistic Culture podcast, and we're going to try and figure out doing a bit of synergy and speaking to other people. And I'll be honest, mate, I feel like I've had my coming out experience as being autistic, and I now feel like an advocate. I feel like I'm a part of the community, which is awesome for me. I mean, the live event was a real, like, I've not spoken in public like that or on a stage or anything since, blimey, about 8 years. And I genuinely feel like I've remembered a part of myself that I really forgot that I could do and that who I am. And it's, yeah, but blimey, I am knackered.
Yeah, I mean,
you absolutely took it out, dude.
Bro, you were just so good. You know, like at the start, it was kind of like, oh, is this is happening? And then literally 5-10 minutes in, it was like an episode. But you know, we had people there, and you know, we were talking towards the audience, but we were talking towards each other. So just for clarity, if this is your first ever time listening and you're like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yes.
So Autistic Minds is UK. It was in Cardiff. It's one of the biggest live autism events with stalls and speakers from all over the spectrum, from all parts of the country. And it's just a wonderful place where everybody can come together and just be just themselves. And it was an incredibly event run by Autistic Minds charity, who we did a podcast episode a couple of weeks ago with Nadine and Raj, who actually, you know, organized and ran the whole charity and charity events. And yeah, it was just a really cool thing to do with you, bro. And it was awesome to meet Karis and have Sylvia come and meet you. And
yeah, I've not met Sylvia before. That was awesome to meet her as well.
Yeah, it was so good. And yeah, and I climbed 2 mountains on the first day because I am.
And you wonder why you're tired.
No, yeah, but I wasn't tired, like physically.
Yeah,
I get tired from just talking to people. I can climb 3 mountains and I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. I'll talk to like 10 people and I'll be like, that was the most horrifically tiring thing that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, of course.
Talking at people, I can do all day long. listening to people, that's where the spoons just start flying out of me. And it doesn't matter what they're saying. They're all saying lovely, lovely, lovely things. And I do take it to heart, and I appreciate it so much. Even if my face is saying go away, my heart is saying thank you so much for taking the time to care what I say or what we say. But there is just that part of me that it's just everything that anybody talks to me about, it just sucks the energy out of me. And I know I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, it's I mentioned it in the talk about, there is a difficulty of being everybody's everything. And as much as I love doing this podcast, and it is genuinely my favorite thing that I do in my life, I feel like my life is built around this podcast now, which it brings me so much joy, so much joy. But blimey, the energy that it took me to interact with our fans was mental. Because one, I didn't think anybody was going to interact with me. Just pessimism from the off is kind of my, you can't be disappointed if you're pessimistic. And within about 5 minutes, somebody just went, "You're Simon," and I was like, "What have I done? Am I under arrest?" Because we had those coppers sat opposite us. I was like, "Uh-oh, I'm in bother." And I had a couple of people come up to me and were like, "Oh, you're an inspiration to me," and all of this sort of thing. And mate, the imposter syndrome, like the mental gymnastics that I was going through, listening to people and talking to them, and then people are referring to things that we've talked about. Like somebody mentioned to me about, "Oh my God, your experience in the taxi in Paris." And Karis was like, "Oh my God, yeah." And then she was like, "You've talked about that on the podcast." And I was like, "You haven't listened to that episode." But yeah, it was a really incredible experience for me. It's been, a lot of people have said they feel validated from this podcast and they feel heard. Meeting our listeners has made me feel really validated and me feel really heard, and has given me a lot of inspiration to really kick on and do this, to the best of my ability and really give it my all. So thank you for anybody that came and met me in your lovely kind words, because I'm really not used to it. It's what an experience. But I think I've had about 4 or 5 naps since then, and I am not a napper. And just my battery is absolutely fried. I mean, I woke up yesterday, not in a foul mood, but just already done. I felt like I'd mentally clocked off with the day yesterday. And I'm a little bit worried it isn't going to come back. Hopefully my energy levels do rise, because I am excited, to crack on with this. And I've got big things going on with my life at the moment that I'm really looking forward to and working on. And it does concern me, especially with we've said the energy hangover of, I don't know how long it's going to last. It could be a day, it could be a week. I really hope it's not a month or multiple months. But that is the flip of the coin. When you do something like that burns so many spoons, there is a risk that it might take a little while for them to come back into stock.
Yeah, it was profound as AF. Yeah, that'll work. Because you came up to me afterwards, and you were like an Energizer bunny. You were so excited, and I was like, just wait. I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
Well, I've done it, and I've been, and it's not so much. And again, let me be clear. I absolutely love people coming and talking to me. It is like, I really appreciate it. I am not a diva in the slightest. But there is a difference between someone coming up and saying, "Thank you so much for everything you've done," and then someone telling you their entire life story. And that's the thing about autistic people, is that's what they will do. And the thing about me is that I completely understand that. So I'm not going to interrupt them. I don't want to stop them, but they will just unload on you. And for me, and again, it's a privilege. I'm privileged to be the person that they trust to tell their story to.
Oh, totally.
But don't pretend for 1 second, that it's easy to hear somebody's, tragic life story of how they've been treated. And I think this is the worst thing about it, dude. And this is what takes the spoons from me, is the fact that what we have to talk about being neurodivergent and being neurodivergent advocates, and then what we have to hear from our neurodivergent followers and fans does seem to be very, very hard. Like it's very depressing. It's a kick in the teeth over and over again. And this is why I find the motivation to keep doing this, not so much advocating on social media. I'm taking a step back from that, but this is what motivates me to carry on doing this and with you, is because if we don't, who the flip else is going to do this? Because
that's how
there
I
are
feel.
not many people out there telling real stories. They're telling medical sides of it and giving you information and giving you training and things like that, which by the way is all great. Like all of it's good as long as it's coming from a good place and it's correct.
Absolutely.
It's all good. But there's not a lot of realism. You know, this is real people, and that's why we're going to have more guests coming up soon of like real stories, real things that people can, like, it was always meant to be quite similar to the book, The Autistic Minds, that I did. And that's why I did it, because it's real life stories. But those real life stories aren't, well, they're not Care Bears. It's more like a horror story.
Yeah, it's heavy. And
it's so awful, and I just want it to change. Just, oh my God,
it's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry. I mean, that's one of the things that surprised me talking to people. I had a variety of people come up to me and want to shake my hand and say, you know, you've really validated my experience. But unfortunately, one of the things that I found that most people had in common are my negative experiences. And when you're as empathetic as we both are, when you're meeting people that are coming up to you and go, I love what you do, every Thursday, you know, we sit down. I mean, the amount of people that came up to me and were like, you don't know it, but we're friends. That filled me with so much joy. But then when you make a new friend and you realize how much pain they've been through and that we all share that pain, it's, oh man, it's a lot of weight. It's a lot to carry. And I do feel now, which I didn't feel before we did this podcast, especially before the live event, I now feel a real responsibility for people. I never had that before. I just kind of felt responsible for myself. And even then I wasn't very good at it. But now,
welcome to my 5 years of my life. The last 5 years.
Like I've got people that I need to look after now and protect. And it's a bit daunting. I'll be honest. It's something that is daunting. I'm up for the challenge, but I know how much you struggle with it. And like, you know, when you've talked about social media and some of the interactions that you have and some of the stories that people tell you, the only time you ever ring me upset is when somebody tells you what they're struggling with. It's never something that you're struggling with. And
yeah, bro, honestly, I've wanted to step away so many times, and I just can't. Not like I'm stepping back, but I can't step away because I'm well aware of the privilege that I have of having a platform, having a voice, being good at using that voice, because, you know, there's lots of people can talk, but not everyone can put things succinctly and like the way that I can do it. And I'm like, well, if I don't do it, and I'm not saying I'm the only one doing it, there are lots of people doing it and they're doing a cracking job, but that is a very small amount of a very large community. Because yes, we are a minority, but we're a very large minority. Neurodivergence spreads. It's not just autism. It's not just ADHD. It's neurodivergence in general. And of course, I have OCD. I have PTSD. RSD and all the different fun acronyms,
all the Ds, all the fun ones.
Yeah. PDA being the most disabling, but also I have physical disabilities, and I want to help people understand those that you know, having hypermobility and having severe back injuries and things like that. I just want people to be seen and heard and not ignored and spoken over. And I'm like, well, you just try and speak over me. Good luck. Good luck with that.
All the power to you.
I'm coming, and everyone's going to have to listen, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, and yeah, that's so very true. But what I will say, even though we had a really positive experience, and even though we've been tired from it, going to an event like that and seeing my community in the flesh for the first time, because I'm not active on social media. My Instagram's private. That's not really the space that I want to find myself in. Doing this is how I want to do it. It's my medium. It's the way that I think. All the power to me. But seeing my community and how varied we are, and it's all just we're just people. That was one of the things that I found brilliant about it, is how many people were coming up to me and going, we're just people. How do you put, when they're talking about levels of autism, somebody said to me, they were like, how do you put levels on a soul? I was like, oh, that's a good one. And just some of the conversations that I've had with people, it's like I was talking to one specific person where she was saying to me about boundaries. And we were talking about something that we discussed in an episode with boundaries. And I said to her, how do you put up boundaries without putting up walls? And she was like, oh, brilliant. And I felt like I was having so many conversations with people that are so similar to what we have, where I'm talking and I don't realize how I feel about something. And then the light bulb goes ding. And it's like, oh, that bit of knowledge that I never knew I had is almost like confirmed and, solidifies in me. But one of the things that was, a little bit daunting is, if that's the largest autistic event, there's a lot of work to be done, because it could be bigger. It could be more out there. There could be more people, having stalls and having talks. And it was wonderful that all of the talks were there, but I did kind of come away from it going, wow, we've done so much and we're doing so well, but there's so much more work to be done.
Oh, I was going to say it's the largest free event, just
Right.
for autistic clarity. It's the largest free event, but it is still one of the largest events. And yeah, like Nadine was actually saying, the lady that runs the whole thing was saying on the podcast, she was saying that we'd love to spread out and do more and reach more, but they're only in Wales at the moment. England is just, well, England is mostly run by one particular charity who seems to take up all the space, even though I don't particularly like them at all. But that's just me and my personal feelings. There are no facts of my dislike. They are just my personal feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So again, thank you to Nadine and everybody for inviting us down, and thank you for everybody that turned up. It was a very special day for me, and it was because people made it special. So thank you very, very much.
Thanks for being there. But the big thing is that obviously we were having a weekend. We were meeting up, and we had a little cottage Airbnb, which was lovely in Brecon, and it rained most of the time
because of course it did.
Of course it bloody rained. Yeah, so I had all these thoughts of I'm going to go and do this walk, and I want to do this walk, and we ended up just getting stuck in the house, which ended up being very good for you, because despite the fact that you were full of energy, and on the day afterwards, like you said profoundly, you said it was like an energy hangover, because I didn't really see that much of you the next day, because you had nothing left.
I had nothing left to give. I'd given about 3 days worth of myself in about 6 hours. And yeah, it shocked me. It didn't shock me because I know me, but the only time that I can ever remember feeling like that is when I used to act on stage, because you'd have, you'd have, a 3-week run, 2 shows on a Saturday, and you're doing 18 shows in 3 weeks. And when I'm in the zone, I don't really eat very well. It's like, you'll notice after the event, my appetite was 0. It's just like I go into this fight or flight sort of state where I'm like, no, I need to go. And it's like I'm in a marathon and I'm like, I can't stop until I finish, but I don't know where the finish line is. It kind of just is almost floating in and around wherever the hell my headspace is at. But blimey, killed my appetite, killed my ability to really put a conversation together for too long. I was finding like we were eating and you were talking to me and I actually couldn't do either. It's like I couldn't eat and listen. I couldn't listen and not eat. I just couldn't do anything. I felt like I was almost just like on standby. You know, when your TV, you just got the red lights on, but nothing's showing. That's kind of how I felt for the past 3-4 days. And normally things that bring me a lot of enjoyment. It's like yesterday was a pure day off for me at home after we were doing all of the driving. I kind of just hung out at home and then, had a bit of a tidy of my flat. Cleared my headspace. My house is my headspace, so I had a bit of a reset. But I was playing video games, and you know me, dude. I love a video game. I got about half an hour in, and I just went, I can't be arsed. And it's not like I wasn't enjoying it. I don't know whether it was PDA or what. I just went, I just can't be arsed. And Karis and I are currently in the process of wanting to buy a house, so we're just started doing the driving to areas that we like and looking at houses we've found online and checking them out. And we drove out yesterday and had a look at a couple of spots. And we got home, dude, and I just went, just completely and utterly crashed. I'm 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock bedtime sort of person, simply because of like sort of the hours that I work, and that's my rhythm and my routine. But I'm struggling to stay awake past 10 o'clock since we've done the event. And I know that we got up early and we had to be there early and we've done a lot of driving and things like that. But one of the things that I'm still learning with this whole post-diagnosis unmasking process is my spoon levels. I mean, we've done an episode on spoons where I was like, on a good day, I have 15. I'm going to have to check that. I think on a good day, I have 12. I think I was overestimating how much energy I truly have, because after this event, I'm like, blimey, I got to go back to work now and get into the rhythm of doing this and getting the editing done. And I'm starting to look at my working week, and suddenly it seems a lot harder than it did a week before. And there is a bit of a creeping anxiety where I'm like, crap, am I going to get that energy back? Like,
yeah, that's why.
Am I going to refill? Like, what's happening? And don't get me wrong, dude, I loved the talk. Like I said, I really felt like I was like, crap, I forgot who I am. Like, this is something that I used to do 3-4 times a week and used to love doing it. I forget, I love attention. I do.
Not me. No, I hate it.
But after almost like feeding the beast a little bit, it's gluttonous. It's full. And I'm like, I just don't want anybody to talk to me for a bit. But life kind of goes on. I've got to ring mortgage people at some point today to see if I can get that. And I'm just like,
you know what?
Crap.
That was a really good way of putting it, dude. It's like you've got an entire box of Krispy Kremes and you're just like, hell yeah. And then you're like 6 Krispy Kremes in, you're like, what have I done to myself? And you're just laying on the floor comatose.
I feel sick from social interaction.
Yeah. So it's all good and we enjoy it all, but there's a certain point where it's just too much and it just takes it away from you. So yeah, absolutely. It's just like gluttonous. Really good, man. That's really good. It's what I love doing this stuff with you, because it's like you would just come out with stuff like that and that energy hangover, and it's so good. Like, it really makes sense. And the thing is though, is that we'll do this and but the next day, like this is just how ADHD, as it were, I am, is that the next day I wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm downstairs. I'm watching a Michael Jordan documentary. I'm just up all day. Sylvia and I, we played like Switch sports and games, and I'm just up all day and energized. And I wanted to go for walks, but rain. Everyone's like, "Thank you, rain."
I'm so glad it rained. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad it rained.
But what I said to you at the time, what I said to everybody in the room, I was like, I don't expect anyone to come with me. I will happily go in the car, because it was like a 40-minute drive. I'd have driven, and I would have just gone for a walk by myself. Because on the first day, when we arrived, Sylvia and I arrived a bit early, waiting for you and Karis to turn up so we can go for this meal at this pub. And Sylvia and I, we just climbed a small mountain. And you'd think, oh, that's a lot. And I'm like, no, there's only a small one.
Not when you did another one in the afternoon.
Yeah, and then we go out in the afternoon. I'm like, everybody come up this mountain with me. And like literally after about 10 minutes, I get a message from you because you drop back because I'm a little bit of a meow. And I'm looking and he's like, oh, I've gone back to the car. And I was like, fair play. I mean, not everyone wants to do what I want to do. And I don't mind that. I didn't get upset by that because, and I said to Sylvia, I said, look, you know, you've already done one today. Why don't you go back to the car as well? Because, you know, she didn't really want to do it. And I don't want everybody to, I don't want to make people do what I want to do, but I'm not going to go back. Like I'm still going to go and do, because I was like, I could see the top of the mountain. I'm like, I'm going to stand up there. And what did you get? Like, about half an hour later, pictures of me standing up there going, hey, I've done it. Yeah. And I literally, as I left Sylvia, I started jogging. Like I just jogged up there. I don't even consider myself.
Is mental.
It is off the chart. And I'm not, and I am very fit, but I'm not like run a marathon, you know, doing those super, like, oh, what do they call them? Like
Iron
tough
Mans
mudder
and stuff like that.
Yeah, Iron Man. I'm not even close. Like, to be honest, no. But I do have this burst of energy, which is what I was using that same energy the next day. And then because of this energy, like being tired, I'm almost like, go away. I'm not interested. So like and then everyone goes to bed that day and I'm still going. I went from 4:30 in the morning till 1:30 the next morning because I just couldn't calm down. So it's like the polar opposites. Yeah, I can't switch off. I've got too much energy. I was like an excited kid just wakes up at Christmas.
It's the gluttony thing as well. Again, you were almost so full you had to then burn it off.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Because I think I was just excited that like, oh, I'm not at home. I don't have any responsibilities. We're in this place. And yeah, I think I was just super hyper.
And you've been wanting me to meet Sylvia for so long, and me too. And obviously you finally got to meet Cardiff as well. But one of the things that I will say, which I think really helped me actually, is the fact that, one, you were really accommodating of the fact that I completely ran out of puff. You know, you weren't going, oh, why aren't you coming up the hill? You didn't put any pressure on me. And on top of that as well, when we were playing video games, I was like, do you know what, guys? I'm a bit overstimmed, so I'm just going to put a headphone on and just have Morgan Wallen just playing in one ear for me. And that was almost like, you know, just I was still able to drive, but I just dropped a gear. It was almost like just putting me in eco. It was like I can still chug along, but I'm doing something which does normally genuinely chill me out and just almost the word. It's here, but I can't think what it is. Anyway, it'll come back to me at some point, I'm sure. But it helped me like just keep my levels. And I don't think if I'd done that talk and had not kind of spent time with you, I think I may have been even in a bit of a worse place, because I would have put my mask back up potentially if I was with the wrong people, and, you know, still learning those accommodations and kind of what I need and being able to ask for what I want and not feeling guilty or selfish. I feel like I was in exactly the right place I needed to be. I needed to be inside on a wet, rainy day, play some video games with my mate, have Karis with me, who, you know, is such like my peace. And I had everything around me that I needed to level myself out. But I'm still knackered. It's like I'm still really on a low fuel. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do to kind of get that energy back. But it changes every single time I get burnt out. It's like normally I'd go, oh, I'll go and play golf. I ain't picking up a golf club. I'm far too tired to do that. So I'm a little bit like, what do I do now?
The thing is, dude, it's like I said to you at the event. It's because the event, the negative thing about the event for me is, you know, it is autism event, but it's not autism friendly, and that's no one's fault. That is not.
It was a bit bright
blaming
there,
anyone,
wasn't it?
It is what it is.
And
yeah. So I had my sunglasses on the whole day. Like
I wish I'd done that.
I didn't take my sunglasses off the whole day. It probably made me look like I was some sort of diva, but it's just. But the thing is that was the exact place where people wouldn't think that. Because
Yeah,
they're like, oh no,
exactly,
he's making
exactly.
accommodations. And Sylvia, she was really struggling with the noise. I was as well, but I couldn't put noise cancelling headphones because then I couldn't hear the people talking to me, which would have been super rude. But Sylvia had my noise cancelling headphones on, and she just went into herself, because normally people want to talk to Sylvia as well, and she just went no. She just wasn't. There were reasons. She was already burnt out before she even got there, and she was just there, and it was amazing that she was there, and she helped us set up the table, and she helps keep me calm when I start getting upset, and then she's just there. She'll just like rub my leg, and she'll just keep me calm, and it was great to have her there. But yeah, she got overwhelmed, and it was so loud. Like, it's so loud. And then for us, and it's like super even louder. And I'm trying to talk to people and I can't hear them because there's other people, and it's just so that was really tiring. But the thing is, it's weird. It's like and I have this in town. If I go into town, any town, even Horsham, which is super quiet where I live, it's not a busy town. As soon as I get into town, I immediately become tired. I'm yawning. My eyes are like almost stinging from being just like, I'm just so tired. And as soon as I get back in the car and I get home, it's gone. And that's what it was like at the event. As soon as I got in that car, as soon as we got back, I was fine again. It's like, for me, I don't have that hangover. But Sylvia does. You do. It is, for me, it is just when it's happening, but I don't like that feeling. But it happens with Sylvia at work. And for me at work, I'll be at work and I'll be tired at work, especially if I have to deal with people or talk to people. I'll be tired. But as soon as I get home, so much energy. I want to go to the gym. I want to go for a run, or I want to play video games, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. I've got so much energy after work. But Sylvia's the opposite. She's just pooped. Because she's a dental nurse, and she has to talk to people and deal with clients, and she works and with the reception, she covers the reception when there's no receptionist and stuff like that. She has to talk to people and answer questions and stuff like that. When she gets home, she is so done. Like, so done.
That's Karis. She's works so hard and is so full on with her job and really committed and does so much, and she gets home and I have to give her an hour. It's not a case of talking to her or trying to soothe her. It's I just have to just leave her alone for an hour, and I'll bring her a drink and I might make her some food, but I've learned just to be hands off and just be like, no, just give her a space and let her do her own thing. And I think less mature or whatever people would take that personally, and I really don't, because I know it's what she needs. But I'm the same. I get to work and it's like I turn up, I go up a gear, and everything's a little bit supercharged. And I think it's because I like work. I like to be invested in something and feel a part of a team. And I do like people, believe it or not. I know sometimes I don't come across as a people person, even though I am people. I do like talking to people, but when I'm done, oh my God, am I done? It's like, it's just like the, that scene in, I can't remember what it's called now, but you can just imagine all the doors go boom, 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 boom. Like, imagine like a safe behind 10,000 like locked doors. That's what I feel like. My personality, who I am, that's where it goes. I feel like it goes behind all of these doors and gets locked away, and then I have to almost like remember the passcode for all of these doors to get back to me. And I'll come home from work and I'll be really positive at work and a bit reaffirming with people and try and be a big team player. And things that I can do at work, I will get home and not be able to do. It's like I look at a space and I'll go, right, that needs organising, that needs cleaning, that needs doing, execute, go, go, go. I'll get home, I'll sit in front of this computer and I'll go, what the F have I got to do today? What am I? What? Oh, I'm on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for an hour. Oh, great. And it's like I wish I had that sort of energy, performance, get up and go at home. But I need pressure. I need to be in a situation. I almost need chaos. And when things are chilled, I almost take a step back. I get too chilled. And that can be draining. I find if I'm not doing enough, I'm actually getting tired as well. I really have to. I'm still so learning what works and doesn't work for me. It contradicts myself constantly. I think that's the thing that's difficult, especially when you're then trying to explain it to people and they go, "Oh, but you've just said this and that." Yes, I know. I'm just trying to figure it out.
It's that unmasking process. You're newly diagnosed. You haven't been part of the community, let alone you're advocating already. Like it's
In
like
the
your
deep
journey. Oh God, yeah, your
Yeah.
journey's just gone. Like we didn't even teach you how to swim, just pushed you in the sea. Good luck with that. But it's like I was saying at the event, like it's a lot to take in, but then you kind of get used to it. And I likened it to like going into the sea that's cold. That after a while, your body temperature acclimatizes to it. And the worst thing you can do, which is why I didn't go out to any quiet rooms, other people did, and everybody's got their own thing. But for me, I can't. If I went out to a quiet room and then calmed down and then came back in, I'd have to start all over again. It's exactly the same as like, oh, if I've got pain and it's building and building and building, and then I take a painkiller to get rid of it, but then suddenly that painkiller wears off, but the pain is at its peak. Suddenly it's like the worst pain because I never had a chance to get used to it.
Yeah.
So for me, I just keep going. But while literally I'm sitting here listening to you, and it's just I've just realized why I am like I am, like what I'm doing. And weirdly enough, it's simply because what a friend of mine just told me. We just literally before doing this, we've just been to town, and we were walking around Sainsbury's, and I saw one of my best friends. He had his headphones on, and he's listening to a podcast, not ours.
Boo.
Scum.
Nice.
Yeah, boo, 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 boo. But he's listening to a podcast, and he takes the headphones off, and we're chatting. And I said, "Oh, is it because?" Because he's autistic ADHD. Well, ADHD autistic is how we've figured it out now. There's two types, and I said, "Oh, is it because the noise and stuff?" And he went, "No, it's because I get so bored." He goes, "I go shopping and I'm just so bored. I need to listen to something to keep me entertained while shopping." And I think that's literally what it is. I think while I'm not bored, but I'm not stimulated. Like it wasn't what I chose to do. It wasn't my favorite thing. If someone says, "Okay, what would you have liked to have done on Friday? Would you have liked to have, gone for a 6-hour walk up mountains or a 6-hour show?" Well, duh, 6-hour walk up mountains and lakes and taking my camera out. That's where all my happiness would have been. So I have all those energy levels. So that's why when I'm doing the show, I was so tired and burnt out doing the whole thing. And as soon as I get back and I'm doing the thing I wanted, which was getting a takeaway and then watching a Disney movie and, something fun, as soon as I'm having fun, that's my energy levels. So when I woke up at 4:30 in the morning because I needed a wee because I'm old now, and my head went, well, I can either go to sleep, which is like really boring. Who wants to do that? Or I can go downstairs and watch.
So boring, dude.
Oh, it's so boring. Or I can go downstairs and watch the rest of the awesome Chicago Bulls '90s documentary that I was watching, and I'm like, obviously, I'll go and do that. And then by 1:30 the next day, I was playing that Wii Sports, that Switch Sports game. I'm just playing basketball in Switch Sports, and I couldn't stop playing it because it's just entertaining. So I'm not tired. But if you said, "Oh, we need to sit down and watch a documentary," and I know you love this subject about aviation, I'd have gone, "Yeah, I'm going to bed," because it doesn't do it for me. So that's literally all it is for me. But as far as energy levels, if I'm bored, I'm screwed. And it's not, like I said, it's not bored. It's just if I'm not fully entertained in the thing that I want to do. So if I go for training at my work, like first aid training, fire training, because I'm a security manager, so I have to do this training.
It's non-negotiable.
Terrorist training, all this different training I have to do. I struggle. I will struggle through it so much. But as soon as I'm home, I'm not tired. I'm like, yeah, now I get to do what I want to do, and it's fun, and I can't wait. And that's where my energy levels go up and down. But that's more the ADHD autistic. Whereas I find that, like, a lot of my friends, they like you, they will just get drained and drained and drained, and then they have that, like I said, wonderfully put, that energy hangover. But I am fresh out of spoons, because I know you are.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And we talk about energy levels. Well, mine have dropped simply because now I know that I'm going to go and watch the original Matrix in 4DX in the cinema.
Oh, is that today?
And that's today. We're going to go and watch that with the moving chairs, watching the original, the only decent Matrix
dude, I have
movie.
the best time.
I am so excited for that.
I've now got to go and speak to mortgage people.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Yay. So yeah, no, if you've been, this is the first time you've ever listened to us, you were at the Autistic Minds live event and you've come to say hello by checking out this episode, thank you very much for doing so, and we hope you go back and listen to the others and continue to keep listening. But I am fresh out of spoons, and if you are as well, don't forget that we now do t-shirts and hoodies with that written on the back. So the link to our little shop, which is at Dolly Daydreams, is in the link in the description. So please go and check that out if that's your thing. So goodbye, my friend. Until next week, until we get more spoons.
Indeed.
All right, bye. Bye. And stop.